Hello, and welcome back. Jelisa Dallas here, where we cultivate courage in how we live, love, and lead. And I'm happy that you're back simply because last week we talked about leadership attributes and leadership traits that were highlighted in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And today I want to reiterate the very first trait, which was unwavering courage. And so, with that, I wanted to talk to you about the value of courage beyond just our everyday life, but in our workplace, as we connect with others, as we build relationships, all the things. And so today's conversation is going to be about that unwavering courage and the two aspects that I highlighted last week about that, which is self-awareness and self-confidence. And so again, in highlighting the value of courage, I have some notes here that I want to share related to the return on your investment when it comes to courage. And I want to outline 4 different areas or key benefits of courage. So if you stick around for a little while, I hope that this will be beneficial to you so that you can apply more courage to your life. I want to share that next week, 1 p.m. Eastern, March 27th, we will be hosting our Brave on Purpose webinar, which is talking about the first step towards values-driven leadership, and where we highlight the 7 anchors of courageous leadership. We talk about value, what courage is, and I'm sure you know we've been talking about courage and we'll continue to talk about courage, and not necessarily in the traditional sense. And I hope that this opens your perspective about what we share here at Go Brave. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this. Before I do, I would love for you to go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, share this with someone you know. Let me know what you find valuable in this conversation. So typically when we think about courage and its application to leadership, legacy, life, whatever it is that we might be experiencing, we typically see it as something that's abstract, something that is intangible. But in actuality, courage can be measured. It is an actual skill and or a virtue. It could be a characteristic that we develop, and it comes by way of doing things afraid, still moving forward even when anxiety, even when worry, even when fear is right smack dab in front of you. It's still pushing past that and doing the thing anyway. And so I believe that courage can be cultivated, hence why we talk about cultivating courage, because it's an area that we can build. It's a skill that we can hone in and be able to implement it, and not in the way of someone going and rushing into a burning building like our fearless, seemingly, firefighters, though it's probably a lot of fear, angst that goes into that, but they do it anyway. I'm not talking about that type of courage, but courage when you are standing before, a sea of decision makers and pitching your idea or pitching your business, when you are having challenging conversations with people of different beliefs and people of different backgrounds, but yet being able to stand your ground to communicate what it is that you need. Maybe having a conversation with your supervisor, negotiating your salary and demonstrating the work that you have placed into your employer, placed into your position, and how that value contributes to the whole. That could be a fearful, anxious driven conversation, but with courage, you can do it. So again, the 4 benefits of courage, or in other words, the return on your investment, or ROI of courage. If you're a part of my newsletter, this may sound a little bit familiar, but I just only gave you surface level of what I'll be exploring with you today. And so with that being said, the first thing that I want to highlight is the increased psychological safety and innovation. When we are courageous, we step into the fullness of who we are. Granted, now some of the spaces for which we work and find community are not always the safest places for us to be authentically ourselves. But with courage, we will show up anyway, with hopes not just to befriend people and or to get likes, but rather to communicate, this is who I am and this is the value that I bring. Also, when it comes to innovation, that's creativity, that is thinking of new ideas and fresh perspectives. That's what courage provides. It rather increases these areas of psychological safety and innovation. Specifically, from some research that I've done, environments where leaders model courage through vulnerability and risk-taking report higher levels of team innovation and collaboration. I mean, the facts say it all, and this was out of Group and Organization Management, a journal. And so the ROI specifically on this, or the benefit, is that teams are 27% more likely to innovate and improve services. So that's just one aspect. And if that one aspect is like mind-blowing, then I think you would want to continue listening into this conversation. Number 2, stronger ethical cultures and organizational integrity. And so with that, a big part of Go Brave is virtue. And virtue is connected to integrity, because with everything that we want to do, we want to make sure that we're communicating accurately what it is that we're doing, what it is you can expect, and how we can best serve you. And so that comes with integrity. And that aspect is so valuable when you're talking about leading with courage, because if you don't trust your leader, more likely than not, you're not going to fall in line with whatever it is that they're communicating or sharing or tasking for you to do. It's going to be skepticism, again, that angst and fear. A research insight, particularly on the stronger ethical cultures and organizational integrity, is that courageous conversations about justice and equity reduce burnout and increase employee trust and retention, just like I mentioned. This is from the Journal of Organizational Dynamics. The ROI, or the benefit in this particular instance, is lower turnover and more ethical decision making. And that is one aspect that I'll actually be presenting on as I build out my Cultivating Courage, Values-Driven Leadership for Uncertain Times. The book that I am developing is talking about ethical decision making, because when you think about being courageous, you're taking risks a lot of times to not just show up authentically, but also communicate truths that maybe others may not believe, and or values that others may not consider valuable to them. But when it comes to leadership, communicating clearly those values and getting others in alignment with those values is extremely important. Number 3, when we're talking about the ROI, return on your investment, or the key benefits of courage, is resilience and mental health. As you know, I'm a mental health first aid instructor, and in that space, I help individuals and organizations identify the signs and symptoms of a mental health challenge, helping their employees see amongst themselves and or within their communities what might be happening and how to identify resources and or supports to help an individual who may be experiencing a challenge in that way. And so I am a mental health advocate because I have my own lived experience and have had connections with family and friends who have lived experience as well. And so my heart is to help others to really get the best type of support that they can in order to disrupt the patterns that a potential mental health challenge can bring about. But research insights in this space says acts of everyday courage, meaning speaking up, setting boundaries, acknowledging fear, are correlated with higher resilience and well-being. So standing up for yourself, being an advocate for yourself and for what you need is a value, is a benefit to courage, is a part of that courageous experience. And again, that resilience and mental health aspect. And so the ROI in this particular space is an improved emotional intelligence and burnout prevention. As you know, I talk about emotional intelligence as well. Self-awareness, self-management, motivation, empathy, and relationship management. All of those are so important when we're talking about being a courageous leader, because that also connects us to equity, and it also connects us to being inclusive and being aware enough to understand how we show up in the world, as well as how we are connecting and doing life with other people. And the fourth thing, when it comes to the key benefits of courage and or the ROI of courage, it is transformational leadership and career success. So the research insight indicates courageous leaders who take bold, values-based action develop trust faster and foster more engagement. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense, because I'm more interested in somebody who is showing up courageously, showing up and really displaying what it means to not just go above and beyond, but also go boldly into implementing certain strategies, building out certain plans. And it gives me more confidence to follow someone who is more courageous. Again, building that trust faster, as well as foster more engagement. And the ROI in this instance is enhanced influence, upward mobility, and team performance. And so if you're trying to advance in your career, then I suggest that you seek to advance or seek to build out, cultivate your courage. Because as you can see, the 4 areas of the benefits or ROI of courage is increased psychological safety and innovation, stronger ethical cultures and organizational integrity, resilience and mental health, and transformational leadership and career success. So I hope that this was helpful to you. I know I kind of went through that a little fast, but I believe that these benefits would truly help you, again, to advance in your career, to, if you are in a leadership role already, to build trust and engagement with your employees, as well as to really implement the values that you all set as an organization, and doing so well with also getting the buy-in from everyone involved. So if you want to learn more, again, about how to implement some of these benefits, or how to be on the receiving end rather of these benefits while also implementing them in some aspects, be sure to register for our free webinar, Brave on Purpose. Again, the first step towards values-driven leadership, where I'm talking about what courage is, courageous leadership specifically, what values are and how they could contribute to courageous leadership, and then the 7 anchors of courageous leadership, as well as the cost of inaction, the cost of fear-based leadership, and what that can look like to your organization, the good, the bad, and the indifferent. So I hope that you can join me again. That's May 27th at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's via Zoom, and you can go to www.gobraveloc.com, where you can find more details and register. And I look forward to seeing you then. Until next time, let your soul work be your best work to a better you. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this with someone you know. Have a great one.